What's going on, guys? IMV Sports here. I want to talk about some of the college games that went final today, some of the big games, some of the ones that stuck out, a couple of upsets so far today, still a lot to go. So let's get right into it. First off, you had number 2 Georgia taking on Mizzou in Missouri, and this game was a tight game. Missouri hung around throughout that game. Georgia pulls out the win 43-29, but I give it to Missouri. A lot of people were thinking Georgia was going to, okay, Missouri's 3-0, but Georgia's going to run in there. They're going to roll over them, no problem. And Missouri held their own. They stuck with them. Couldn't really obviously get a lot going. As I said in my earlier video, I thought Georgia's offense and defense were too good and wouldn't allow Missouri to get enough energy to get hot there for a little bit. But they held their own. They stuck with it. But they lose 43-29, and Georgia's such a great team. They're number 2 for a reason. And they showed today that, they're competitive. And even when times come where they're in a conference game on the road against an undefeated team, they can handle it. And Jake Fromm was great today. He threw for 260 yards and 3 touchdowns, so he was really good. Locke, the quarterback from Missouri, who's been getting a lot of attention, and didn't have that great of a game today. He was okay. Threw for 221 yards, no touchdowns, threw 1 pick. He did get a rushing touchdown. But not too great a game for him today. We'll see if he can bounce back their next game and have another really stellar performance. And we'll see. But it was a good game. It was an enjoyable game to watch. It was definitely competitive. Anytime you get to see a top 10 or a ranked team play an unranked team and have a close game, it's always exciting to watch that. So it was a good game. But Georgia wins, as most people expected. And Missouri got to keep their heads held high. They're 3-1 on the season, still have a lot to play for this year. But moving on, we had number 8 Notre Dame taking on Wake Forest. Now, Notre Dame has struggled in their first 3 games. I personally don't think they should be in the top 10 because when you are the number 8 team in the nation, you should be dismantling these teams that they're playing. Ball State, I mean, come on, Ball State, you should beat them by, if you're the number 8 team in the nation, you should win by no less than 4 touchdowns. Should beat them by at least 28, 30 points. And they won by like 4 or 5, barely beat them. And at halftime, it was 28-13. So Notre Dame kind of had a grasp on the game. It didn't feel as close, but it was 21-13 at one point. Right, about 5 minutes before half, I think Notre Dame scored with about 5 minutes left in the second quarter to go up 28-13, but it was 21-13. You were like, oh, is Notre Dame going to have another close game? We'll see. But in the second half, they exploded like people have been waiting for the Fighting Irish to do, and they did. They end up beating Wake Forest 56-27. So they did great. Their offense finally exploded. Defense did pretty well in that game for Notre Dame, but the main takeaway is that everyone wanted to see the number 8 team, Notre Dame, wanted to see that offense really explode. And after the first half, it was, okay, but what else you got? Let's see. Because every other game, they only scored 20-some points. So they already had 28. So it was like, okay, are they finally going to explode? And they did. They took a hold of the game, and they did not let Wake Forest look back. I mean, they crushed them. They destroyed Wake Forest in that second half. Like I said, win 56-27 in that game. Now, the next game, you had number 19 Michigan taking on 0-2 Nebraska. Scott Frost has been struggling to start his tenure there with Nebraska. And not only did it get worse today, it got astronomically worse. They lose to Michigan 56-10. Now, I know Michigan was a high favorite in this game because of the way Nebraska's been playing. But it was 39-0 at halftime. And this, I mean, for Husker Nation, I mean, this is turning their worlds upside down. I mean, they were so excited to get Scott Frost there. What do Nebraska fans do right now? Should they panic? Think, what the hell is he doing? Screw this guy. If he doesn't turn it up, get him out of here. I'm done. Should they be content? Like, oh, give him a chance. Let's see next year. This is a rebuilding year. We're going to be bad this year. We might win 3-4 games. We'll look at next season, see what he can do when he brings recruits in. Or should they just stay optimistic about this season? Is there still a chance he could turn this team around? Maybe get him 6 wins? I don't think so. I mean, in the Big Ten, there's so many more games they got to play against tough opponents. And man, 0-3, and they get killed too against Michigan. Like I said, Michigan was picked to win. They were a favorite, but man, they get killed. If you're on Twitter, you saw Wendy's actually made a tweet about, like, Wendy's fast food made a tweet. I think they said something about, like, Maybe everyone, Nebraska or Husker Nation or whatever, is going to need a Scott Frosty to cool down from this game. So that was pretty funny. But Nebraska, man, that's a nightmarish and embarrassing start to the Scott Frost era. So let's move on, guys. Number 23, Boston College. This was not a game I was talking about earlier in my video, but it was an upset. Number 23, Boston College. They're ranked for the first time in a while. And they take on 0-3 Purdue, and Purdue beats them 31-13. It's Purdue's first win of the season. Boston College threw 4 interceptions in that game. They looked terrible. They looked like a type of team, man, they got ranked and they just got, their heads went like this. And Purdue gets their first win and they crushed them 31-13. So good for Purdue, get their first win, and tough for Boston College. As quickly as they got into the rankings, they're right back out. You had Alabama taking on Texas A&M. Now, this was a 2 top 25 teams. Alabama's number 1, so everyone's watching it. But I knew Alabama was going to crush them. I predicted it, and they did. 45-23. I think my prediction was 45-24, if I'm not mistaken. I might be thinking of another game. So I could be completely wrong and look like an idiot right now. But on my earlier video, I think I might have predicted 45-24 because I think I said Alabama was going to win by 3 touchdowns. So final was 45-23. I was that close. So I'll take credit for that. But Tua has a hell of a game. Another one of the guys with Will Grier, with Kyler Murray as a Heisman candidate right now. 387 yards, 4 touchdowns through the air. He was incredible. Bama takes care of Texas A&M, no problem. They're moving on next week. Guys, another game I wasn't talking about earlier, and probably the most shocking result of the day today. No matter what happens the rest of the night, in my opinion. Number 13, Virginia Tech gets upset, guys. They lose to Old Dominion. Old Dominion University at their home field. They beat number 13, Virginia Tech. This is the biggest win in their program history by far. And not only that, just like Purdue, this was their first win of the season. So think about being a Hokies fan or a Virginia Tech player right now. Not only do you get upset by Old Dominion, a Conference USA team, a team that just came to Division I FBS less than 3 years ago, and they lose. And they get them their first win. The score is 49-35. Old Dominion lit them up offensively. Lit them up. They win, guys. 49-35. That's the most shocking result of the day for me. Old Dominion outscored Virginia Tech 28-7 in the fourth quarter. I think it was their final 4 possessions of the game were all touchdowns for Old Dominion. That's incredible. So good for them. What an upset. Another upset. Number 17 TCU. They got upset by Texas. I said earlier I thought TCU was going to pull out a win. I didn't think Texas would be able to carry the emotion of last week's upset of USC. And they do. Second week in a row, they knock off a ranked opponent. So wow, Texas is flying high right now, guys. They're 3-1. And now if you're a Texas fan, if you're part of that Longhorn Nation, you got to be looking back on that first week game against Maryland and getting beat by them like, oh my God. If we were played then, that week 1, like we're playing now, we'd be 4-0. And they'd probably be in the top 10, guys. So I'm looking at Texas definitely going to the top 20 this upcoming week. And let's see if they stay hot, guys. Like I said, this team had a lot of hype built around them. And after that week 1 loss, it looked like it was gone. They knock off number 17 TCU 31-16. They held TCU to 3 points. They got a field goal in the third quarter. That was it. The entire second half. 1 field goal. Shows a lot about Texas' defense. So their defense looking unbelievable. That's the big games, guys, I wanted to talk about. Obviously, some other games, they just weren't that close. And other than that, but just to throw it out there, you did have Ohio State. They took on Tulane. I hate seeing that crap. Like, why are you guys playing Tulane week 4? It's annoying. But they crushed Tulane, just like you would think. 49-6. Haskins goes off. That's another Heisman candidate right there. 304 yards, 5 TDs. You have West Virginia, number 12 West Virginia, taking on K-State. I thought K-State was going to keep that game a little closer, but they didn't. West Virginia rolled over them, 35-6. Will Grier has 5 touchdowns, 356 yards. He did throw for 2 interceptions, though, so only negative for him. But, man, big day for these quarterbacks. Tua, Haskins, Grier. A lot of big games from these quarterbacks, guys. Jake Fromm had a good game, too, like I said earlier. Still plenty of games going on now, guys, and coming up. You got Wisconsin and Iowa, Arizona State, Washington, Stanford, and Oregon. So keep watching the rest of the games. We're going to talk about them later on. All right, guys, so enjoy those games. Don't forget to like, comment, Let me know what you think about these games, the games coming up, whatever you want to talk about, let me know. Also, also another thing I want to talk about, I'm open to suggestions. Don't be afraid to drop in the comments section, Isaac, do a video about blah, 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 about, the Oakland Athletics and the Cleveland Indians, like they're both, blah, whatever. Oh, why are the Lions playing? I don't care, guys. Drop a suggestion. I'll do a video about it. That's something I really want to do. So if you guys have a suggestion, you want to see me talk about something, let me know in the comment section. So like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time, guys.